had an operation on my eye called a vitrectomy, and when they put all the needles in to freeze it, my heart stopped. I have a lot more to say about the subject of God.
That's a mother cow's milk who was, these animals are trying to live. Their babies are kidnapped. So you know the truth and you choose to pay for abuse and murder.
Hello everyone and welcome back. As you probably know, my name's Lisa and today we're going to be talking about a totally different subject. But just before we dive in, I'm still not very well. I'm still full of cold, but I'm getting there. I've been to the doctors and got some antibiotics, so hopefully I'll be better very soon. Now, the first thing I want to say is no, the vegan teacher did not pass away. She is still alive and kicking. It wasn't a clickbait thumbnail or title. This is real. So let's dive in and listen to what she has to say, shall we?
Hey everybody.
Miss Cady sounds as weak as a kitten there, and in my opinion, that's not a good thing to see because, I have compassion and empathy. Just before we get into what the vegan teacher says in the video, I'm going to read what it says on the screen. Stay vegan wherever you are. The needles to freeze my eye made my heart slow down and then stop completely. Doctors say I have to stay in the hospital overnight. I haven't eaten yet, but don't worry. I will only be eating vegan food. Watch the Minion Movement on YouTube to see who the real victims are. Well, there's certainly a lot to unpack there, isn't there? I can't understand how someone whose heart just stopped because they went in for an eye operation and it obviously went wrong in some way. So she technically died for a while. And the first thing on her mind after nearly losing her life is to say, go and watch Dominion, save the animals, be vegan. I can tell you that I have taken her advice because she's always banging on and saying go and watch Dominion on YouTube. So I did. I sat through the whole of it and it is 200 minutes long. And I have to say, I didn't agree with all of the practices that were taking place, but it still didn't make me want to be a vegan. And that brings me to another point. In one of her videos quite a while ago now, she said to SS Sniper Wolf that she didn't care if her heart stopped, which is a disgusting thing to say to even your worst enemy. Why would you say something like that? Rage bait, in my opinion. She just likes poking the bear, and she knows that it elicits people to make videos like I'm doing. But I don't care. I think in some respects, what she says is absolutely disgusting and heinous, and yet in person, I reckon she could be actually quite nice if she wasn't ramming veganism down people's throats. And you know what they say? What goes around comes around. And that seems to be the case with what she said to SS Sniper Wolf.
So I had an operation on my eye called a vitrectomy, and when they put all the needles in to freeze it, my heart stopped, and so it gets slowed down a lot, and then it stopped, and I was unconscious, and you're not supposed to be. But anyway, they told me I have to stay in the hospital now, and I can't go home yet. Pretty dizzy. Everything's still frozen all up here. I can't feel my head. I just wanted to make sure that you guys all know how important it is for us to protect the animals. So please today don't eat them, okay? Thank you.
Miss Cady, I hate to break it to you, but you are not Superwoman. You're only a human being just like the rest of us. And I can't imagine waking up from what she's just been through, pulling out my phone, and my first thought is to make a YouTube short and put it out on YouTube. Seriously? In my opinion, that makes you totally deranged. And I hate to say this, but I think it needs to be said. I reckon when she does eventually pass away, we all do, because she's not exactly a spring chicken at the moment, is she? Not that I wish any ill will on her. But what I was going to say is, I think her headstone will say, I tried really hard to save all of the animals. And go and watch Dominion on YouTube. The most surprising thing to me is that she really does have a heart. A normal beating one. I was under the impression that it was made of stone or ice, maybe.
From my hospital bed in Italy, where my husband is standing looking out the window at the beautiful scenery. I had eye surgery yesterday. Unfortunately, due to the medication they put in the needle in my eye, my heart stopped and I almost died. I had to be given emergency atropine, but I'm okay now. Just a bit dizzy, and my head is still numb. My husband ran out to the local grocery store to get us some nuts, banana, and apricots to sustain us, since the breakfast here in Italy was pretty lame. It was essentially 2 dried up, processed pieces of toast. No fruit whatsoever was served. They gave me a cup of tea, but I don't think that soy milk or oat milk are a thing in this hospital. They're really behind the times here in Italy.
Wonder if Miss Cady was trying to persuade all the doctors and nurses to become vegan and maybe put something better on the menu for them. I mean, I must admit, 2 dried up pieces of bread is not brilliant, is it? And I know in hospitals in the UK and Spain, you definitely get better food than that. You do actually get fruit because at the end of the day, it is good for you.
I was told to get into a wheelchair because they were taking me to see the doctor. After putting burning eye drops into my head, they brought me back to my room, and I was told I was okay to go home now. My husband was here the whole time with me. They allowed him to sleep in a chair in the room overnight, which was great. He's a bit camera shy, but I told him, come and say hi. So there he is.
I often wonder when I make videos about that vegan teacher if the lack of nutrients and minerals has affected her brain function, because being vegan can have disastrous consequences for some people, as we're going to see in this next clip.
That milk doesn't belong to you. That was from a mother and her babies were kidnapped from her. Oh, you were? Okay, so you started to abuse animals again. That doesn't belong to you. That's a mother cow's milk who was, yeah, well, these animals are trying to live. Their babies are kidnapped. So you know the truth and you choose to pay for abuse and murder. What a disgusting human being. You used to be vegan and now you've betrayed the animals and you pay for them to be enslaved, tortured, abused and murdered. How does it feel? There's no health issues. You can thrive on a plant-based diet. Why are you choosing violence, abuse and murder?
I didn't thrive on a plant-based diet.
The evidence shows that you can. No, that's a complete lie. You're just a selfish animal abuser. Shame on you. It's disgusting.
That was one of the other animal rights activists, another vegan. Her name is Tash Peterson, and boy, oh boy, is she. I don't know how to describe her. Maybe you should go and watch some of my other videos about her and then come back to this one and tell me what I should have said here.
I have a lot more to say about the subject of God and religion. I've tested God during the time that I was on the operating table and slowly stopping to breathe. I told him, kill me now if that's what you want. But apparently, my work here on earth is not finished. I'm alive, and I will fight even harder than before for the billions of animals who God has appointed me to defend.
It's a fine example about her brain function right there. That's exactly what I was talking about. She's unconscious on an operating table. Her heart stops beating, and yet she's trying to convince us that she was having a conversation with God. Seriously? Do I need to say more? I can just imagine the comments and I really look forward to reading them. Well, that's it for today's video. I hope you have enjoyed it. As I said, I'm pleased that the vegan teacher is still alive and kicking because she's the gift that keeps on giving in the form of content. If you've enjoyed the video, then please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Ta-ta for now.